Coming up on this week's episode of Punt Along, what's happened to the club that Dundee United once were? Hampden continues to be Scotland's home national stadium. Manchester United legend Roy Keane is featured on this week's show Bellend, and the usual chat about Dunfermline Athletic Football Club. Enjoy! Dundee United. What's happened? Look, before I start, I know I need to be treading on thin water with what I say here, because currently Dundee United are actually sitting above Dunfermline in the league table, despite the fact that we beat them on the opening day. So take what I say with a pinch of salt, but this is just my opinion. Dundee United at the moment obviously have Shaba Laszlo in charge, and it just seems to me that when he is going to be the manager, and it seems like that is it for the foreseeable future unless Dundee United really mess up in the league this season, that the fans just are never going to take a liking to him. Obviously the capitulation of Dundee United started when they got relegated, obviously, and all the problems that came with that, with Jackie McNamara and the board at that time, Stephen Thompson, and people like that, just causing aggro and a bit of havoc at the club. Players like Gary Mackay-Steven and Stuart Armstrong and Nadir Chifchi departed for Celtic, and as I said, that kind of started the demise of Dundee United as a club and where they are in the status of Scottish football at least. I mentioned their status in Scottish football there, and it's weird to think that at one time Dundee United were a European challenging club and going to these grounds like Ibrox, Parkhead, Pittodrie and being a real force to be reckoned with, and now they're sort of a laughingstock in a way to many clubs of that size and stature now. They're stuck in the second tier and they seem to be not really making any great strides this season to be out of that either. They've always been up there as favourites to win the league title when they've been in the Championship, but then they've always either fell flat at the last hurdle or just never really got started properly. Every weekend it used to be a packed out Tannadice for years and years and years, and now just recently they're only scraping over 1,000 fans at home to Alloa in the Ironbrew Cup. And of course we all know how maligned the Ironbrew Cup has been and how the nature of the competition is that people just aren't that interested in the ties in general, because you get to play teams that you're going to play another 4 times at least this season usually. But the fact that Dundee United, the size of club that they are, the fan base that they have overall, they're only attracting just over 1,000 fans to that game. I don't know, it just doesn't seem right to me. There seems to be something seriously wrong with the connection between the fans and the actual goings on the pitch. And despite the fact that they changed their owner, Stephen Thompson is obviously not there anymore, and I think it's Mike Martin that's there now, there just doesn't seem to have really been that much of a change in how the fans look at the football now. As I said, I need to tread lightly what I'm saying, because at the end of the day they're currently sitting in a higher league position than Dunfermline are, which is fair dues and well done to them for that. But the point I'm trying to make is, I don't know how it's ended up getting this bad for Dundee United, that they're attracting so little amount of fans to games. They just don't seem anything like the club that they once were, and I think it will take a massive amount of time for them to ever get anywhere near what they once were. The SFA finally made their mind up and they're going to stay at Hampden. This time last week, the SFA were sitting in a building, a group of adults, talking about the future of Scottish football and where it will be played, the future of the national team. Back then, their meeting ended after a day and they needed more information to be able to come to their final decision. So a group of adults sat down for a full day and couldn't come up with a conclusion. Useless. Every man in their dugs had their opinion on this in the last wee while, for the last few years really, and I'm just going to put my 2 pence in there now. Personally, I don't mind the decision to stay at Hampden. I just don't see why it's taking the SFA this long to consider a change between Hampden or Murrayfield. The possibilities for both grounds are there to see. Hampden has its problems, of course it does, but it's the home of the national ground and it has been for decades and centuries almost. Murrayfield is a completely different animal. It might be slightly better in some aspects, but it's got its downfalls as well. The fact that you lose all the historic elements of Hampden, but then you might get a better fan experience at Murrayfield. I'm not too sure. I've never had to really look into it because I've always kind of been on the side of the kind of retro kind of feel, and Hampden gives you that obviously because it's tradition. That's kind of what I've always lived by. That's why I like grounds like Somerset Park and I like Brecon as well, because they're all kind of retro looking Scottish football grounds that are stuck to their tradition and stuff. So Hampden to me provides the great opportunity to have that, and at least you know that the memories that were created at Hampden before can be created again, perhaps once the team improves. The only kind of gripe I've got with the decision is that if you even just look south of the border, which the SFA often do to kind of create different ideas, like the Ironborough Cup is basically the rendition of the EFL trophy in England. As I said, if you look south of the border, they are playing games at Leicester's ground, they're playing games at Liverpool's ground, they're going all around the country giving different sets of fans the chance to see the national team. And for all that England is a different animal to Scotland in terms of travelling to games, it takes longer to get to places in England, why wouldn't Scotland benefit from this? In games like the other night against Albania, there really wasn't that much of a crowd that turned up at Hampden, so why couldn't games like that have been played at a neutral ground like Pittodrie or Hearts, Hibs, grounds like that, you know? I don't know why that couldn't have been looked at. It just seems that they're going to stick to one ground, and it just seems so one-dimensional. Why can't we be giving other sets of fans the chance to see the national team instead of having to make your way to Hampden, which can be problematic for some people depending on where they live? The SFA took their time making the decision, obviously, but I think they made the right decision overall. I just wish there was a bit more variety. It's that time of the week again where we do the part of the episode called
Harry felt his quad in training again, so he wasn't training, and apparently he was getting a bit of treatment in the treatment room, and Roy walked in and he was like, "When are you going to train, you fucking prick?" And Harry was like, "What?" And he was like, "Fucking any chance you train?" And explained the situation again, and Roy was just going off, going, "You're a fucking prick, you know, you're a cunt, you don't even care, you don't want to train."
Roy Keane, you thought he was a hard man. Turns out he can just be a bit of a bellend at times, eh? Roy Keane's always kind of had this image of being a guy you wouldn't like to meet in an alleyway on a dark night. However, he seems to be kind of gaining this reputation when he's became a coach of this kind of person that just has a go at players for no real reason. And it's not exactly a too favourable reputation to be building for yourself. In recent times he's had previous form of it. He's been having a go at players like Aidan McGeady, and it seems to be when he's in this kind of coaching environment that he feels like, because of his playing background when managers were far more kind of ruthless on their players and shouting all the time, Roy Keane seems to love that kind of nature of management. You just didn't get away with that in modern day football. We all know that modern day footballers are a bit sensitive and kind of take things to heart more often than they ever would have done in Roy Keane's kind of era. So maybe Roy Keane just needs to kind of look a bit more into the future and realise that some players just don't take to that kind of treatment. You always hear about some players being like arm round the shoulder type players, or some players can take a bit more of a rollicking. But with this one, I think Roy's got the wrong end of the stick with the rollicking part of it. He obviously was a hard guy on the pitch, and as I said, he grew up with that type of management where if he did something wrong, you'd get told about it. And as I said, he's the type of guy that I definitely wouldn't want to meet in a dark night. But surely he's got to be more professional in the role he's in currently, instead of being, well, a bellend. And as usual, on Punt, we'll go full circling back to my team, Dunfermline. So, after the weekend's travels to Boreham Wood and back, the Ironborough Cup draw took place. Would we get a trip to Ireland, Wales, or even maybe England again? What plane, train or hotel would we be taking this time?
Number 7.
Jackie, thank you very much. It's Dunfermline Athletic.
Number 9.
They will play number 9, Alloa Athletic.
Alloa at home. To be honest, I'm quite glad of this draw. We'll still have the chance of playing one of the foreign teams in the next round, and by drawing Alloa at home, we've obviously got a good chance of being able to go through, and the biggest test to be able to show that is how we perform this weekend. Alloa at home. Looking at both games, they've both got to be wins, but this weekend the league is so important for us, and the fact that this game kind of gives us a platform to really build on. We need to get 3 points in this game, because if we can't beat Alloa, then it really is worrying. With us playing at home, we'll 100% have to win this one. If we don't, then serious questions will need to be asked. Let's get this season started for real, pars, eh? And that's it for this episode, guys. Cheers for watching. If you did enjoy, please give it a like, comment down below about anything I've said, and subscribe for more of this type of content. And until the next video, I'll see you then. Cheers, guys.